Welcome to the live stream here at OUC 2013 between Phoenix, the #1 seed in the Open Division, and Grand Trunk, the number 2 team in the Open Division. GT, Grand Trunk from Toronto, while Phoenix from Ottawa. Both of these big teams, both of these strong teams, and this is looking like it will be a preview for the finals, which will be coming up in 2.5 hours or so. So we're checking on our internet access here. We're gonna have GT going in white, while Phoenix will be staying in black. Both of these teams, their benchmark here on the live stream has been against Maverick. They've both beat Maverick. They both had a little bit of tiny trouble at the end against Maverick, but didn't have a close game in either case. Horn goes, and we are ready to play. Of course, if you're watching the live stream and you have any comments, please be sure to contact us on I Am Ultimate or elsewhere. I'm just going to have to move a player. Excuse me. Sorry, you can't sit under that tent because of the internet connection. Thank you. You can go more forward, though, on that side, if there's shade there. Just adjusting our internet connection elements here. Pull goes from GT. Far pull goes way out of bounds. Exciting times here. Both of these teams in good position to head to nationals. In fact, it looks like GT, the worst they will finish is 3rd, as will Phoenix, because they will both be in the finals in 2.5 hours. This is more of a relaxing game. We're just gonna sit here, chill, and talk about all the issues of Ultimate. Nice break through the middle. Matt Berg. Nice little dump there and swung to the middle. Phoenix moving it well, but not the same type of energy they had against Maverick. And then a turn. That's probably the first error I've seen Phoenix make as early in the game. It will be, this matchup, by the way, will be the toughest either team will have. Lots of pressure, few options, straight up line. Slightly easier middle. Aiden now with a disc. Calling for no huck, but Phoenix is giving up a backhand force. Leo flips it. Back to Leo. Ooh, and a big floaty throw. The wind has changed here. And JJ Santos. Is that Jack? I think it is Jack. Grabs it on a clutch move and didn't give up on the play. Jack McDonald from KW. Now living in Toronto, going to school there. Plays on Tarantula as well. So let's talk about the wind here. First game, none of it. There's nothing. The breeze has started up now. It's a headwind again. So coming from the east to the west, so from the left of the camera, because we are facing south, and heading slightly north. And it's changing bit by bit. Sometimes it comes from a little bit over there. Other times it comes from a little bit over there. So GT starts with a break. Jack McDonald, number 12 with that grab. It's getting very hot here in the sun. I'm fortunate to be in the shade under an umbrella, but we're expecting it to be warmer today than it was yesterday. Big pull. I think it was Aiden that pulled that. Does that go right out the back? Just barely. We won't be seeing observers here today on this field. They'll be at 3-4 games or 2-3 games and games to go. Welcome respite from their tyranny. Close coverage here. Carl Loiseau there in white on GT. Former Phoenix player, but now playing with GOAT. So he's here playing with GT as GOAT is not going to Nationals. Oh, nice big hook. It's close, and it's in. Slightly not necessarily risky. Close to the sideline. Might have gotten pushed a little bit towards it as well because of the wind, but a great hook. Wasn't as much pressure necessarily on that point as there have been on previous points that I've seen these teams play. Matt Bird coming off a point. Looking pretty good. Seems to be he's one of their players that moved up from Firebird a couple seasons ago, I believe.
I would have whacked it. Don't take it off. I think what it looks like. Price probably would have run it. No, you would have thrown that back in.
To all of you on the live stream, thank you for watching. Hopefully quite a few viewers from Toronto. We know that we have viewers from a number of different places. If you are new, I tend to do a stream that might be a little bit more technical, but not too technical. Rahil does a very technical commentary. Ultimate here. 7 players versus 7 on the field. Big pull. And it's good because there's defensive pressure. I've always talked about this pull as well. It's going to be flipped upfield. Looking at Alex Vlahos here as a receiver, not wearing a cardigan. An interesting decision here in a very difficult game. That heckle brought to you by some of his players. Really good throw there. Excellent grab. GT 2-1. Fantastic movement. And I just had a photo taken, which I hope will be deleted at some point. Needs a little bit of fill flash though. Which lens do you have on there? Or are you a Nikon guy? Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. There's no... one of the tournament photographers here using Nikon gear, and being a Canon guy, of course, we have to heckle each other. It's It's part of what we do. The result, of course, is the same.
Would you like one?
And no matter what anyone tells you, pick what you're comfortable with. They have slightly different menu systems, slightly different feels, but you're going to be starting off with both of them when you're brand new. You're going to be learning both of them. Thank you to the photographers and volunteers of this tournament, especially the volunteers. Everything has been great for me. They've taken really good care of me. I don't know about the players, but definitely I've been taken care of. Actually, I'm hearing some good things from the players as well. Everyone is happy. I think that starts with the weather. A deeper pull comes in. We have a 2-5 setup and a really messy front of the stack there, but pressure and good speed as well. Side catch. You always tell Matt Style he's a little bit frantic with the disc, and there is a foul call. Carl now on the mark. Carl knows these players quite well, having played with them. Carl becoming quickly one of the most interesting players in Canada in terms of ability and strength as well. Especially the university team he put in a few years ago was he made a team for CUUC because he could not play with the University of Ottawa with a new rule set. So he literally put together a team in a couple of weeks. And they did rather well. He is one of those, and can be one of those game-changing players on the field. Defense D there by, I believe, Aiden as well. He picks up the disc. JJ Santos at the back. And now Carl gets a disc, one-hand grab trailing. Looking for the huck, not getting it because there is a well-placed foot in the way. Now it goes up. Oh, and this is a beauty. And Phoenix down another break. GT go up a quick 3-1. Big game left to go, but Phoenix coming out a little bit cold here. Now here's the thing, when Phoenix get angry, they get good. And that's what GT has to watch for. But they're playing very well right now. It all started with that D down there, and that's what will be the key to this game. A continued defense by both of these teams. I think GT has got to put on strong lines and they'll have to get good at it as well. I think they get a break after this game. So either of these teams are looking good. Actually, GT doesn't get a break. I apologize. GT will play Firebird, and then we'll come back to play Phoenix. And if they lose, it looks like they'll go back and play Firebird again. And that is an interesting situation because Firebird has become incredibly strong over the last year. They had a lot of cuts. They have 28-man roster, just going to the limit. Great development program. I think it has to be said, just all sorts of good news coming from that camp for this tournament. They were on the cusp of not heading to nationals, but given Mavericks lost yesterday to Roy on Universe Point, and then after that, after Mavericks lost, Roy defeated Firebird defeated Too Bad, and it's thrown the open division in all sorts of disarray. At least everyone outside of Phoenix and GT. And I think that is the story of the tournament, is that Too Bad, Maverick, and Firebird battling it out now for the last two spots. And previous to this tournament, at least in my writings, I had not considered Firebird to be that much of a threat. That much, so to speak. Ooh. And this is another turn. A little bit of an early setup there, and the stack wasn't ready. Jack wanting to do the huck. Good placement. And a big huck goes up here. It's floating. It looks like it's going out of bounds. And I think Aiden had to pull that back a little bit short so it wouldn't get hand blocked, and I think that's the result, is that it didn't quite get off as he wanted it to. It and I played previously together on Roy when I started on Roy, which was, I think, 2008. I played a season, and he has moved on up to GT since then. I have moved on to just picking up with teams for tournaments. Great cut open in the middle. Now over to the sideline. Carl slips, and that allows a breakout. Another easy, and this is where GT needs to pick it up. This was a slightly longer point for them, and they put a lot of energy into it. Coverage coming back a little bit harder now, but and good pressure. That was close. Phoenix now close it to 3-2. It could have been bad. It could have been a 4-1 game there, but a little bit too much excitement, and GT still leading 3-2 up a break. So open division in disarray outside of the top two. The top two now, even though GT is actually the 2 seed. I've listed them as a 2 seed here, but they are in fact the 3 seed coming to this tournament. I'm just going to fix that up for us right there. A little bit of a breeze continues. But coming into this, they were the 3 seed. They will be leaving as the 2nd seed. And I think it's been something they expected. And they have and will be able to challenge at Nationals quite well. I've called them as a top 6 team at Nationals at CUC. They are still missing players here at this tournament. Roller coming here, but lands, bit of blade, and good pickup and prevention there. A little bit of a pacing difference. Pick or a foul called? Is this a pick called? Having a discussion, it should go back. I think they're calling foul. Unsure.
Yeah, maybe.
I think there was a foul call for when he moved in the stack. He pushed off was the call.
Should get some shade after that. Or you should go sit up there. You guys want to set up in the shade? We're going to watch it.
Game paused a little bit. There was a collision on the far sideline that took out the ODSA sign. Not a big deal. Both players seem to be up now. Another pick now in the stack. This is a really messy stack. They have to figure this out. It's clumped up and tight. Violation called now. Game's getting a little bit chippy now, as Phoenix tends to do. And now the Phoenix players getting into the GT's head. The GT's going to need to get it up, and they do, and it's hanging. Oh, and a big grab by Ryle. Ryle comes down with it. Out of retirement, Ryle Suleiman with a huge snag. Came down in an ideal position for him, but he got up at just the right time, and a veteran move there from a veteran player. And GT 4-2. Looking good right now, GT, but the decision there and that they had to huck is an interesting one, and that there was that much traffic underneath. It points to a lot of good pressure by Phoenix. and it points to a stack that they really need to fix. GT has a messy stack. They're having a conversation about it on the field right now, but something that needs to be fixed. Sure, Ryan Briggs is here with some updates. I'll read them out to you. Legendary and Whiplash went to Universe on hard cap. Whiplash calls a timeout and turnover after. Legendary scores, and that knocks Whiplash out. Does it, Brian? Whiplash is out. Okay, so Whiplash versus Zen, that Whiplash needs to win. In fact, I believe in order to get to Nationals now, Whiplash will need to win the next 3 games in a row. Or Zen, either of them. Whiplash did go to the CUC last year in their first year as a team. They were anticipated as one of the top teams going in, but we'll chat a little bit more. Carl again with a hard mark. He knows how to play physical with these Phoenix guys. Phoenix known for their physical play. Matt catches it a little bit offset. Looking for options here. Got one. Phoenix good for that. They always provide that at multiple times. It's a little bit later than they have normally. Vertical stack continues to adjust down the field, and a good put down the sideline. And no pressure on that one for the Huck. Scott Westwell with the score. Any more updates, Ryan? All right, so Maverick doing well against Too Bad. Against Firebird, sorry. 3-0 the lead. What was their game? Roy down 2-1 against Too Bad, and I believe Roy beat Firebird, or no? Yeah, so Goose beat Roy, and that goes according to seed. About the only game going according to seed in open in the contentious area of call this. And Legendary Glide, and that is a game to go.
I'll touch my neck.
But sorry, but that previous game that I was questioning about Whiplash, they need to win 3. So how, or they might just be out. Okay, so but then how is Glide in a game to go? No, Glide, well, yeah, they're all in elimination games right now. Sorry, just figuring a few things out here in mixed division. There's a lot of stuff going on today. There's 15 teams in mixed. There are 7 teams here in open. And the 7 teams allow for quite a bit of interesting options and outputs. And the disc pulled, and it's coming back in. That's a good pull. And they're trapped in the corner. Rahil, steady hands.
Andy, okay?
And so looking for the break, and it was there, but his cutter went away from him. Now there are no options back there, and we need cycling.
This side, this side.
The only option there was upfield, and a foul is called.
Muscle, that's a travel. The travel, Muscle. Hey, Muscles, flash straight up for one, right?
Phoenix is calling for a straight up for 1 mark here because they're trying to prevent the Huck, and there is a deep option available. Rahal coming up across the middle again. He's moving really well for a guy who just came out of retirement. Over the top throw, and it was a little bit of a momentum issue there. A little bit of a bump there and a foul called. Could have gone with a contact, but many teams are not used to it just yet. And Alex with a tip on it gets the tee back. He must have his cardigan on underneath, giving him his superpowers back. Very physical match here. And I found you don't need to actually go that physical against Phoenix. And really tough upfield right now. And the bomb comes out of it. Incredibly lucky on the earlier one, and a drop further up the field. And the player limping slightly, but not taking the injury. So interesting few transitions here. And good D by Phoenix. I think that's got to be what's got to be said. Another drop out of fingertips, and the disc ends up at the other end. Both teams taking their time to wander back. I think it's interesting few transitions here. A little bit messy, but it's good IO. And the huck gets sent up. And unfortunately, he had jumped from out of bounds. And that is the pressure. Just on the left of your screen there in the red shorts, Hadrian. Hadrian's a Western player who's now in Ottawa. Developed quite a bit the last few years. Played with the usual suspects of Higgins and Leo, so he's former teammate of some of the GT guys here. There are having some issues here, and that one just out of Frogger's reach, and he was going hard. Timeout called. Good call. They need to be cleaning up their play here. Both teams with a very messy point after some very good and interesting clean points. We're gonna take gonna have a little bit of food here. I have to stay energized. Still 4 more games to do today. I think I don't know, 3 more after this. We're gonna go right into the mixed final following this. The mixed final will be featuring Union, who won 13-1 over Glide, versus Surge from Kingston, coming in as I believe the 8th or 9th seed. And Surge, captained by Andrew Carroll, winning 13-11 in a tough match after being up 9-2 at one point against Alliance, formerly Yar and Bulldogs. So we're going to try and get a little bit of an update on the mixed as well right now. So next game for Greer is going to be Union from Toronto versus Surge from Kingston. How you doing, Matt? Having a good, okay game? Gotta clean that up. All right. Just having a chat with Matt Berg, one of the younger players on Phoenix. They are a pretty young team overall as well, but one of the younger and definitely well-developed players there. Having a decent game. Overall, this game does not matter. These teams will meet again in the finals. There's just so much that's happened elsewhere. Neither of these teams have lost yet, so they will see each other in the finals. The game following this one for GT is against Firebird, which should be easy. And unfortunately, that throw, I felt like the receiver gave up a little bit once someone was in the way, which might have been blocking. Yeah, there is a crosswind, as Ryan has pointed out as well. It's pushing things slightly out of bounds, but the player still had a shot to go and at least get a touch on it. And they were tough options upfield as well. Straight up mark, trying to prevent the huck, trying to get the movement going. Oh, and if the sideline needs to be active there, big flick huck, lots of room. I think that's Frogger going down the field, just goes over him, and an easy pickup in the end. Oh, travel called. It's or foul or the like. It's going to come all the way back. It's actually going to come all the way back. Okay, it looks like to the sideline where that flick huck went up. Joining us soon on the field will be Kojiko, who will be setting up to do a local broadcast. They have a little truck that they've brought. And their own production studio. If you are in the Kingston area and they're doing a live broadcast here, you might want to actually tune into that one. It should be slightly better quality in terms of video, but this game will be made available online later. Oh, unfortunate turn there. Now being called to settle down. GT has another shot at it. Going to a 5-2, coming back and with a 5-2 again. Risky. Lots of breaks available here. High stall count to Vlahos. Doesn't need to lay out and slides. No travel. That one's clean. Phoenix had shot. And GT 5-3. All right, looking at mixed options right now. We have the teams that are going to be in the finals on a bye. We have Alliance playing BFC, and we have Whiplash playing Zen on the fields behind me. I believe across from us is Knobs versus, I can't quite tell. They're in red, they might be Bled, they might be another team. I'll go and find out, but there are all those teams I mentioned in contention for spots to nationals. There will be eliminated. Some will be eliminated with no shot after this round. Whiplash, quick update on Dan, who, if you were watching the stream yesterday, was in, as I thought, one of the worst hits I've ever seen in almost any sport. And that includes hockey, rugby, things like that. Completely accidentally was taken out by his own player. Ambulance came in, did not take any risks, and we thought it was in bad shape. It could have been really bad. It looked really bad. Turned out to be that he actually made it back to the hotel before we did. Was not that bad a concussion from what has been told and we've understood. So he's fine, and of course he'll be monitored. Pole goes out of bounds. Something both of these teams need to work on. You know, being aggressive with those poles, but keeping them in bounds, and that comes with time. Score now 5-3, GT lead with a couple of breaks. The disc coming to play now with 5-2 set up, or 2-5 set up, depending on how you want to see it. Left to right. Puck available, but, and there's also a mismatch. And there we go. Matt's got a good shot at this. And make sure to keep it in. And Matt Berg with a point. A big point. Phoenix possibly getting back to an efficient offense. 5-4. And I think we have some internet connection issues again. Nope, just went through. So a little bit spotty here.
Because he goes under on the one and it has a shot.
So what can we expect coming up? Surge is an interesting team. They are certainly built around local young players. They have not played as a group before this year. They're playing purely through athletics. Like, they're very athletic. A lot of athletic players on that team. Andrew Carroll, perhaps the most. A lot of smart kids as well on the team. Good Kingston Ultimate players, good Queens players as well. And the amazing program here has developed both a great men's program as well as a great women's program in university. And 2 years ago, in 2011, Queen Bees won CUC in the women's division. Queens men have been to the Open Finals a few times, or the men's finals. And we should see a pretty decent game from them. However, here in the Open Division, we're going to see these two teams again. And it'll be a close game again. Looking for the huck. Good lefty backhand there. Safe. Points out to other talent and skill on this team. Runs it down, wants the huck as well. A little bit tight there and early cutting in the mids, but just working it down the line. Gets it. Sideline. Contention. And Alex Vlahos pulls it down. And GT 6-4. So GT here leading 6-4, 1 point away from half. And this start here is an excellent start from them. They've become a very strong team recently. The Toronto system is developing immensely. And I think there's great things to be said for how hard this team in particular has worked and continue to challenge. In fact, they always tend to challenge Phoenix and seem to be able to withstand the physical style and play that Phoenix always brings. A little bit of a shorter roster as well for both sides. Let's see what happens here in the rest of the game. Might end up being a bit of a longer game. Going? Usuals. Yeah, I thought it would be a good idea to bring it in. Thanks. Yep. I could tell. I think I chatted with you, right? So you guys have probably about another hour and a half to two before the next game, the Open final starts. Okay. Pretty good. Another deep pull. This one lands in just barely, and there's pressure right away. I'm sorry, I didn't bring the camera around, or brought my attention around. Vertical stack, and it's a bit messy. 4-3 overall. Open, in cut. Carl on the mark now. He's putting pressure to get a deeper dump on there. And Messi in the middle here, but moving well. Carl gets bumped off a little bit, doesn't call a pick. Deep strike possible. Gets it back to the middle well, and those marks have to stick to what they're doing. Big floaty throw, crosswind, Keeps it in.
Come on, Leo.
Leo calls a good switch. And they take a timeout.
Water.
And good movement from Phoenix to pull this around.
The hardest part.
Sure am. Booked my flight. Yeah. It's gonna be so hot. It's supposed to feel like 42.
And getting quite warm out here.
Really?
Yeah. They don't call it hot Atlanta.
Carson, apparently Wi-Fi is down. I'm going to test this again.
Going with 18?
See if it comes back up.
Yeah. Like a lot of them aren't even the real, like not real.
No capital.
But like
And I'm going to be checking the feed at this point.
Jen and Buck are practice
So our internet connection here continues to be giving us some issues. We're just going to be restarting both right now. After this timeout, or this point is actually scored. Setting up in the middle of the end zone. Thank you to those that emailed in. We're going to go and try and fix our internet as well quickly. Bert Stack. Easy point to the front of the end zone. And Phoenix get an easy point after timeout with a good call.
It was 12 when I was over there.
Welcome back to the live stream here at OUC 2013. We are into the second half of the game between Phoenix and Grand Trunk. And GT is leading against the number 1 seed. Pull going to be coming from the west side of the field here, going to the east. Tried to stop the roll there. And we're going to get the pressure right on. And the big cut deep down the field on a perfect throw. Threading the needle. And GT and a travel call.
Look it up, boys.
And a bad dump there.
Go, Maddie, get back. On him, Maddie. On him, Maddie. On him, Maddie. Come on, Maddie. Come on, Maddie. Go back, Maddie. Go back.
Big flick. Open player. And Phoenix break. Starting out the second half in style. GT now leads 7-6. Could have been an 8-5 game very easily, but travel call brought it back and then resulted on a turn, an unforced error, really. Carson Turner, hope you're enjoying the stream from wherever you are. I know that any of these teams could have used you and appreciated your talents here this weekend. But your selfishness has deprived them of your presence. Really, all of us. So really, sort of not your selfishness, your selfishness. Don't think I can emphasize that enough on how much you should be here playing. You have played with almost every player that's on the field here, and you've played with this team as well. You've played with Maverick. Played with a lot of Toronto area teams as well, so a number of really great players not here this weekend.
This shirt is so itchy.
An okay pull there. Another deep. Carl fake for the Hawk to try and get an adjustment. Absolutely great D layout. Too many players going towards one disc. Points to the need for cleanup of the GTO. No, Phoenix seems to have turned it up as well. Looking at an ISO play here with a slant stack. Oh, and that, had he laid out, it would have been a D. He was close. There was lots of speed. Pick called as well. Players are applying sunscreen, just so you know. Sunscreen should be applied in the dark 30 minutes before you go out into the sun. Not once you're in the sun already. And a bounce D. Ryle looking, wanting to flick Huckett. Has options. Takes a safer throw. Carl going deep. Ryle sends it. This is a good battle. Carl with a spectacular catch. With a spectacular catch.
No one's calling you in. No one is calling you in.
I think if we look at the replay, it was tight, but I think Carl was in on that one. We could go to the video, but it isn't there.
He was out. Yeah. He definitely didn't call that. I don't know. I actually think he might have.
And unfortunately, no one there to watch. It was very close. I say they do it again. Bit of an issue there with the throw. The positioning was such that Matt was on the inside, so Carl had to go over him, and he did. And also the throw was drifting out of bounds towards the line. That crosswind is a lot stronger than the players expect it. Down at ground level, you don't really feel it, but up here, several feet off the ground, you do. Carl looking for it. How great would it be to see Carl go again? And Alex goes, and this one much better. Laws with a huge run, and I think we got the grab just on the corner there. But there's a call. There's a travel call, and Phoenix is known for this.
I think he's saying every fake he's just getting further out. He actually traveled on his fake. His throws are actually fakes get an extra. No, I think he actually calls bags on shit called like fakes, but then it's actually clean. But it's that every time he fakes, then he does, and he doesn't throw, then he still does the drag.
Violation called. Big collision there in the air. It wasn't a hard and fast one. Both players seem fairly reasonably okay. Alex a little bit winded in the back. Is there a call? There could be a call. Two tired lines now on the field. Behind us, we have Zen and Whiplash playing, as well as BFC and Alliance. Felix getting some pretty easy in cuts right now. A lot of deep coverage. And then just back to the play. And Phoenix. Tie up the game 7. Timeout called.
I'm more than happy with that.
If you're on the live stream, thank you for joining here today. Still a bunch of green dots on the mobile stream. You can see that. Trying to work and fix that, but it appears to be a bandwidth issue.
Oh, Ryan. Go, Ryan. Go, boys. Monza. Hey, down the water bottle. It's okay. Alex, stay hydrated.
Phoenix, though, looking good. This game appears to be going the distance as well right now. It is scheduled to finish in about 20 minutes.
Hey, we're gonna get observers for the second half.
Kojiko setting up the side. Scaffolding here on a truck. They're going to be a few feet higher.
Toss, bud. Okay, let's go. Okay. Yeah, kid, let's go. Let's go, boys. Let's go, buddy. Oh, yeah.
Coach, they're too nice. I'm going to be the bitch for them.
Banana break.
I play the bitch well.
Hey, boys, let's roll it back in. Roll it back in, boys. All right, let's go.
Two. Good.
Phoenix looking to get another break.
Have fun out there. Let's go, boys.
Fortunately, not many options, but there's a call.
Good job, Michael. Good job, Michael.
We at 5.
Go, 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 go.
Deep option. Oh, and it's just a bit too far for Carl. You can see it tailing off way too quickly.
Boys, get back here.
Needed to float a little bit more, but with the wind coming from far side, the disc was pushed to ground on this side.
Get the hammer. Pass back, Jack. Watch the triple cut. Maddie, 100% on this tee here. Let's go. Make your last guy, man.
Looking for options, gonna have to go to a handler. And gonna go with a foul call. Union starting their warm up. Surge will be as well soon. Our next game will feature Union versus Surge in the mixed finals. To take the #1 seed out of Ontario going into CUC and also win Ontario Ultimate Championships. I think that's probably why they're here though. There will be a trophy. Briggs and the TD were having photos being taken. A lot of discussion on this point right now about that foul. Should go to, at this point now, being contested. And I think the argument here is whether if it did happen, should be coming back in at 8 because it was a high stall count.
Where are the observers? Someone get observers. Now.
Rescue there in the middle.
Carl. Good mark. good, Jake.
Deep throw coming up. It's going to be a foul call. It's going to be deed. And there's a foul called. So you may be wondering, why are there no observers in this game? One, well, they're not really needed. This game is meaningless in many ways, other than pride, and I guess that's why you should be playing Ultimate in the first place, but does not affect the results. Easy floaty grab. This game's getting a bit physical and chippy, and Phoenix tends to do that. Not saying anything that they don't know, that's why they play that way.
It doesn't matter. It's when the thrower recognizes.
It's too many electronics here, buddy.
You know how you can, like, once you're standing there, you can run and like set. Yeah.
Back on side, he's coming back.
Good mark. Good swing pass here. Greg goes up. There are two defenders. Boxed out very well. There's a deep option available, and then Deed equally well in the middle. And an injury. Might have stepped on a hand or come down really hard after that layout. It's tough. Paramedic is called for, just because he's pretty winded. But he is walking off the field. Not seen anyone go for that paramedic just yet, so.
We're in kind of two pockets here.
Seems to be okay though. Good hands in the middle. And there's a foul call. And he's not contesting it. And another foul call. These tight marks. Bit of a floater up. Sorry, I might have missed that one, but Phoenix get another one, and now up.
Let's go, boys. Hey, boys, heads up. Let's go.
8-7. 15 minutes left in this game. Still anyone's. GT had a lot of good chances. Been playing generally quite well, putting lots of pressure as well, but veteran plays, if we can call them that, from Phoenix, the difference.
And it was a what that means. So they have to
I actually would have gotten much easier to
And no one was white. And it was 11. Yeah, stayed there. Okay, I told my team that like. It's okay.
Phoenix now in command of this game, knowing that they can play their style of ultimate and get away with it. When they have moved the disc, Phoenix, they've moved it really well. Same with GT, moving it well here in the middle, doing a little bit of a weave. Foul called.
So nice.
Lano's hanging out a little bit deep as well as another player. And I've got to believe you can adjust to go around that. Nice bounce right to the end zone. Sorry, I incremented Phoenix's score there, but it is in fact 8-8 now. Tie game. And there are some big lines being called out once again by both sides. We'll try to get the results for some of the other games that are going on. It is a tough series of games coming up for many mixed teams. And for Open, elimination hasn't even started yet. We are going to be finishing off after this round. But coming up next in the mixed finals, Union versus Surge. Surge coming in seeded 8th, I believe, by the tournament, seeded 2nd by me. So them being in the finals is really not a surprise.
Not at all.
What happened?
Not a surprise at all.
Not at all.
And I don't think they're surprised either, although they did have a little bit of a close match in the semis. So they didn't counter Callahan, and so they actually finished 14-11 in that game. Orange, please. A freezy available for me now. Thank you. From the tournament organizers, Mrs. Marsico, if I may. The Marcicas have moved to Kingston, originally from kind of the Guelph area, and Jerry, a good friend. Very nice guy. Lots of fun to play Ultimate with him as well. All right, GT. Now you need to get a point in. Pole goes up. And it looks like it's going to be just out of bounds. Right about there. Anyhow, I am going to go off commentary for a tiny bit because I have a popsicle and it is very hot out here. And I need to start avoiding dehydration. 2-5 stack. Go back to the hammer position now. Good swing. Pick called.
I'm flying long distance, so I don't have long time to talk.
So this game that you're watching is going to be the most competitive game.
Big open side huck, and it could be flipped in, but Good coverage, comes back to the middle. This is a danger zone.
There's a few other like crazy open teams.
Oh, they just flipped in with left-hand side, then scoop over the top. And a quick 1-2 play there near the end zone.
There's 15 good teams. These are all guys. So like the open.
Getting a little bit windy up here on the platform.
Right, and then these guys are the
Phoenix, 9-8. Now basically back to the beginning of the game where we were.
Open can have women. It's just anyone can play. Open is anyone can play. So you end up just taking mixed. There's exactly multiple gender ratio on the field, and then women. Yeah, there's also a women's team. I don't know who's strong. Juniors are here too. Yeah.
Alliance might just have knocked BFC out in their game. And Alliance, the mixed team, being very impressive overall. A merger between Yar and Bulldogs. I was kind of wondering where the Bulldogs have gone and been discounted by many. And we didn't have many results on them, but they've come up strong and played well. Very impressive. Unfortunate throw went out of bounds. I know that feeling. He's a top player, so those sort of inconsistencies are rare.
Hey, Jamie! 60, go, go! Hey, it's the same thing, right, Bert? Line, guys. Berg, watch that inside back end. Watch that inside back end. Berg, listen, he's going. Go off. Okay, you're okay. Come on. North side, Jamie, to the middle. Oh, yeah!
Foul called.
Sideline push down. Black sideline push down. Jamie, I still got you. Back in, right? Got Jamie. Nice ball.
Travel called, so it goes back a couple spots. Yeah, it's tough. How was your game?
All right, let's go, Blacks. Do it again.
Yeah, so now what? Just chatting with Romeo from Glide, and it appears that they had a good game against Legendary. Timeout called here. So that game against Legendary allows them to move on up into the game that will let them get to the 2-3 game. So they're now in the game for that spot. And BFC is knocked out by Alliance. And Zen, it appears, has just had a big point. They're playing against Whiplash, and that too is one of those situations in important games. Surge now warming up behind us. See if we can get you a shot really quickly. Officially underseeded in the tournament, but outed before the tournament by themselves with an amazing result of 5th at Comedy Affairs after taking Odyssey 8-6. Or no, thank you. I can only have a gluten-free. Special for me? Awesome. Thank you.
It just looks ugly.
Thank you very much. And tournament coming through. Pizza, sponsor of this tournament, or provider of the pizza. I've just gotten a gluten-free pizza, which is what I need. But back to the game, and just finished my popsicle. Folks, it is hot out there. We're going to take a quick break after this game, try and get some food in. Phoenix still have space. It's Rao coming downfield. And there's a good switch there. Back to the middle. There needs to be some coverage here. Phoenix is getting free yards. Pick called. And that was exactly within the space necessary. Horn is gone. If Phoenix get this, it is game. If GT turn, get the D, and then march it back the field, it will go to universe points. Big break here, floating a bit. Matt spikes, and that's the game. Good game all around, a tight one. Points to something of having or available during the finals in terms of having a good game. In any case, hope you enjoyed that. Phoenix, undefeated. GT, their first loss. They now head on to play Firebird. If they win, which they should, they will head back here. And I think regardless, they head back here to play in the finals. I'm going to take a quick break. I'm going to move a few things around, and then I'll be right back. Thank you for joining me, and look forward to seeing you coming up next in the mixed